7 Psychic signs that someone is in love with you, even while hiding it. There is something that science still cannot fully explain: the capacity two people have to connect across distance, without words, without messages, without contact. When someone is deeply in love with you, the energy that person emits is powerful enough to travel miles and reach you in ways you may not yet recognize. These are not signs you will see on a phone screen. These are signs you will feel in your body, in your mind, and in your energy. And the most intriguing part, you have probably already experienced them without knowing what they were trying to tell you. Sign 1, an inexplicable heaviness falls over you out of nowhere. You are fine. The day was normal, things were flowing. And then, without any visible trigger, a soft sadness, a strange tiredness, or a causeless melancholy settles over you. It is not depression, it is not anxiety. It is something more subtle, a kind of emotional weight you cannot name. This is one of the most powerful signs of psychic influence from a distance. When someone is in love with you and cannot act on it, whether from fear of rejection, pride, a complicated life situation, or insecurity, that person carries an enormous emotional tension. They want to reach out but do not. They want to tell you what they feel but stay silent. And all that pent-up energy, that contained anguish, travels in the form of vibration and can settle into your energetic field as a weight that does not belong to you. The question you need to ask yourself when this happens is simple: did this feeling come from me, or did it arrive to me? If you cannot find any concrete reason for it, there is a strong chance it belongs to someone else. Sign 2, you think about this person without having meant to. Suddenly, in the middle of a meeting, while cooking, while listening to music, the image of this person simply appears in your mind. You were not thinking about them, there was no obvious trigger, but they just showed up, clearly, in detail, perhaps with a specific memory or a feeling of closeness. What many people do not know is that a thought is not always originated by the person who thinks it. When someone is constantly directing their attention toward you, imagining conversations, reliving moments, fantasizing about futures, that energy creates a kind of calling that your mind picks up as a spontaneous thought. It is like receiving a radio signal you were not looking for, but that was strong enough to reach your frequency. The more vivid, recurring, and unexpected the thought, the more likely it is that the origin is not you, but rather the intensity of what the other person is feeling for you in that exact moment. Sign 3, your concentration vanishes and you cannot explain why. You try to work, but your mind slips away. You try to study, but the words do not sink in. You go to the gym, but your head is somewhere else. And the curious detail, the thought occupying that empty space has a face, a name, a story. The loss of concentration caused by external emotional influence is different from ordinary distraction. It has a magnetic quality. It feels as though something is gently pulling you away from where you are, as if part of your energy is being drawn toward another person. This happens because the human energetic field is sensitive. When someone focuses all the emotional intensity of a repressed passion onto you, that energy creates a kind of tension between the two fields. You cannot be fully present because, on some level, part of you is already responding to that calling. Sign 4, you feel their presence even when they are not there. This is one of the most unsettling signs, and also one of the clearest. You are alone in a space, and suddenly you have an unmistakable feeling that that person is near. Not physically, but energetically. A presence you can almost touch. Sometimes it comes as a scent you associate with them. Sometimes as a feeling of warmth or a shiver. Sometimes it is simply an intuitive certainty that, in that moment, they are thinking about you with great intensity. People in love have an extraordinarily powerful emotional focus. When someone is in love with you and thinks about you frequently and deeply, that constant attention creates an impression on your perceptive field, and your nervous system, far more sensitive than we realize, registers that presence even in their physical absence. Do not ignore that feeling. It rarely lies. Sign 5. You feel a sudden impulse to reach out. Out of nowhere, you pick up your phone. You open their profile on social media. You type their name in a message app. Maybe you even start writing something, and then stop, not really knowing what to write or why you started. This impulse feels like yours, but ask yourself, did it come from within, or did it simply appear? When someone is in love with you and intensely wishes you would reach out, that person can, without realizing it, send an energetic calling so strong that you receive it as your own desire. It is as if their longing were so overwhelming that it spilled over and reached you as an irresistible impulse. The difference between a genuine impulse of your own and a received one is subtle, but perceptible. A genuine impulse comes with clarity and intention. A received one comes with confusion. You do not quite know what you would say, why you are doing it, or what you even want from that person in that moment. Sign 6. You dream about them in a vivid and meaningful way. This is perhaps the deepest channel of unconscious communication between two people, the dream. When someone in love with you thinks about you intensely before falling asleep, and people in love do this often, that energy can literally enter your dream field. You wake up with the feeling that the dream was too real, that it carried an emotional charge beyond what you normally experience in ordinary dreams. Dreams of psychic influence have distinct characteristics. They are sharper than usual, they carry an intense emotional quality, and the person in love often appears not in random situations, but in scenarios of connection, conversations, reunions, moments of emotional intimacy. Your unconscious mind, when relaxed and receptive, lowers its rational defenses and becomes far more permeable to the energies around it. It is in these moments that the deepest transmissions arrive. Sign 7. The symptoms disappear completely and abruptly. This is the most revealing sign of all, and paradoxically the one that goes most unnoticed. You were living through all of it, the inexplicable tiredness, the invasive thoughts, the lack of concentration, the feeling of presence. And then, one day, everything is gone. Not gradually, abruptly. As if someone had flipped a switch. This happens because the person in love with you went through a change. Maybe they started working a great deal. Maybe they made a decision. Maybe something or someone new occupied their attention. The focus they were keeping on you, which you felt as that constant weight, was redirected. The absence of these symptoms is, in itself, information. It tells you that what you were feeling was never entirely yours. It was a transmission. And now that the transmitter has gone quiet, the signal disappeared. If you recognize this pattern, the sudden arrival and sudden departure of an emotional state associated with a specific person, you have an almost unmistakable confirmation that this person carries deep feelings for you. How to use this knowledge in your favor? Recognizing these signs is not just a spiritual curiosity. It is a tool for self-knowledge and energetic awareness. When you learn to distinguish what is yours from what arrives to you, you stop acting on autopilot, reaching out on impulse, feeling without knowing why, making decisions based on energies that are not yours. You begin to consciously choose how to respond to what you feel. And if you want to use this same connection intentionally, directing thoughts of love, presence, and attraction towards someone who matters to you, know that what reaches you can also depart from you. Energy has no borders. And love, when genuine, is the most transmissible force that exists. If you recognize yourself in any of these signs, write in the comments, "The universe conspires in my favor." And subscribe to the channel so you do not miss the next videos.